The hidden discipline. God teaches before success. There is a moment in every life when silence becomes louder than any answer you ever prayed for. A moment when the path stops expanding, the doors stop opening, and heaven itself seems to pause. This is the ground where God does his deepest work, not in the noise of recognition, but in the quiet of preparation. Many see this season as a delay, a punishment, or a sign of being forgotten. Yet in the eyes of God, this hidden place is the birthplace of every calling, every breakthrough, and every true success. If you pay attention, you will notice something subtle. Before God elevates anyone, he first separates them from everything that would keep them small. It rarely feels holy. It rarely feels spiritual. It feels like loss, confusion, internal stretching, and a strange sense that you are moving but not progressing. What you do not see is that God is preparing the ground beneath your feet so that when he places success in your hands, it does not crush you. He is building roots before he reveals the tree. There is a discipline God teaches that almost no one talks about. A discipline he only teaches in the dark, when applause is absent and direction feels uncertain. This discipline molds identity before it molds destiny. It is not a lesson learned in the spotlight, but a refining that takes place in the hidden corners of your daily life, through challenges you never asked for and changes you never expected. This discipline is the foundation of every story God writes, including yours. Some people think God prepares them by giving answers, visions, confirmations, or immediate clarity. But God's greatest preparations come in ways that seem to contradict what he promised. He sharpens you while holding back the very thing you are waiting for. He molds your character before shaping your circumstance. He removes what you rely on so you learn to rely on him. It is a preparation that feels like opposition, but is actually elevation disguised as discomfort. You may look around and feel like nothing is happening, but something is happening inside you. Your endurance is growing. Your discernment is maturing. Your emotional strength is forming. Your faith is becoming unshakable. These are not small things. They are spiritual structures God builds to carry what is coming next. Success without structure collapses. Purpose without depth crumbles. Calling without character destroys. God loves you too much to let that happen. This video reveals that hidden discipline, the quiet training, the unseen shaping, the divine strategy behind the seasons that feel still, heavy, or confusing. When you finish this message, you will no longer see this moment of your life as a delay, but as a divine classroom, where God himself is teaching you how to carry what he is preparing to give you. And the moment you understand what he is doing, everything changes. You stop resisting the season and start recognizing the purpose behind it. There is a truth God rarely explains in the beginning, because if he told you, you would run from the very process designed to strengthen you. Most people believe preparation feels like progress, like something unfolding visibly. But preparation in God's hands often begins with subtraction, not addition. He does not start by giving you more. He starts by removing what is weakening you, limiting you, or shaping you into someone you were never meant to be. You expect God to confirm your calling with signs, open doors, or supernatural clarity, but his first move is to clear the space inside you. This is why certain comforts suddenly stop working. Habits you once enjoyed now feel heavy. People who once fit your life no longer match your spirit. Opportunities that used to excite you lose their shine. You are not losing passion. God is shifting your identity from who you were to who you must become in order to carry the future he designed for you. What makes this process so difficult is that it feels invisible. Nothing around you seems to be changing, but everything inside you is being rebuilt. You look at your life and ask why you feel empty, why old routines no longer satisfy, why the place that once felt comfortable now feels tight. This internal disruption is not confusion. It is God untangling you from versions of yourself that cannot cross into your next season. The hidden discipline begins here, in the quiet work God does beneath the surface. He separates you from distractions because you cannot hear destiny with noise in your ears. He loosens your grip on what you think you need because He is preparing to give you something better. He shifts your mindset before He shifts your environment, because success without transformation becomes a burden instead of a blessing. This unseen process is the birthplace of strength. It is where God purifies motives, refines intentions, and removes the weight of old expectations. It is where He teaches you that real growth is not measured by what you gain, but by what you release. And once your hands are empty, your heart becomes ready. This is the point where God begins the true preparation for the success He has been planning all along. There is a pattern God uses before every elevation, and most people misinterpret it because it does not look like progress. It looks like disruption. It looks like something breaking, something shifting, something being taken apart. You expect God to straighten the path, but instead He shakes the ground beneath your feet. This is not instability. This is holy restructuring, a dismantling of everything that cannot hold the weight of your calling. Divine disruption begins when God interrupts the rhythms you have mastered. The job that once felt secure starts feeling temporary. The relationships that once felt aligned begin to loosen. The plans you trusted begin to unravel in your hands. You try to hold everything together, but the more you tighten your grip, the more God slips certain things away. You are not being punished. You are being repositioned. This disruption exposes attachments you did not know you had. You discover how much of your identity depended on people's approval, predictable routines, or personal timelines. God allows these pieces to shift, not to weaken you, but to strengthen your foundation. He is removing what you built on convenience, so He can rebuild you on conviction. He is dismantling what was fragile, so He can construct what is eternal. What seems like chaos is actually coordination. God is not scattering your life. He is rearranging it. He is moving certain people out to protect your peace. He is closing certain doors to guard your purpose. He is stirring discomfort, so you will step out of places you would never leave on your own. You feel pushed because without that push, you would stay in a season that can no longer carry your growth. When God disrupts, He is not breaking you. He is breaking what has been holding you back. This pattern is His way of preparing you without your permission, because progression rarely feels comfortable in the beginning. He shakes the familiar so you will awaken to the necessary. He interrupts your plans so you will discover His will. And though it feels unsettling, this is the first sign that you are stepping into a new level of purpose. There is a training ground God leads you into long before anyone sees your calling. It is not public. It is not glamorous. It is not affirmed by applause or supported by recognition. This training happens in the quiet moments of your routine, in the challenges you do not talk about, and in the decisions you make when no one is watching. God uses these private spaces to build the version of you that success will require. This training begins with quiet obedience. God asks you to take steps that seem small, repetitive, or insignificant. He leads you to forgive when you want distance, to stay consistent when you feel unseen, and to be faithful in tasks that feel beneath your potential. These moments are not wasted. They are shaping the discipline, humility, and resilience your future will depend on. Then comes invisible excellence. This is where God teaches you to do things well even when no outcome appears. You show up, you serve, you listen, you grow, not because someone is watching, but because your spirit is being refined. God strengthens a character that success cannot corrupt. He molds integrity into your decisions, purity into your motives, and endurance into your spirit. This private training also touches your emotions. God teaches you to master what once controlled you. You learn to respond instead of react, to remain steady instead of anxious, to to trust instead of fear. These skills become weapons when you face pressure, responsibility, and influence. Emotional maturity is not a gift. God carves it into you through moments that require patience, restraint, and surrender. And then comes inner separation, a discipline most people never recognize. God separates you from old identities before He separates you from old environments. You begin to feel misaligned with places you once enjoyed. You lose interest in conversations that once entertained you. You sense you are outgrowing versions of yourself others still expect you to be. This internal shift is not confusion. It is transformation. God is preparing your spirit for a future your environment has not yet witnessed. This entire training is hidden. It does not come with affirmation or clarity. Yet every pressure, every decision, and every quiet moment is building a strength that will hold your destiny. God grows you in private, so you will not break in public. This is the classroom where foundations are built, where identity is forged, and where God prepares you for the moment He decides to reveal you. There is a mindset shift God waits for you to understand, because once you see delay the way He sees it, everything about your journey changes. You have been taught to fear waiting, to treat it as a sign of distance, silence, or abandonment. But in God's process, delay is not distance, and silence is not absence. What you call waiting is the very environment where God develops the strength your future will demand. Delay is not a pause, it is preparation. God uses the weight of waiting to build stamina in your spirit. You learn to endure uncertainty without losing faith. You learn to trust God without needing constant reassurance. You learn to stay steady even when emotions pull you in every direction. These moments are not wasted time. They are training you to stand firm when responsibility increases and pressure rises. Waiting becomes the place where God stretches your capacity. He strengthens your patience so that pressure will not make you impulsive. He refines your desires so that opportunity will not distract you. He aligns your motives so that success will not distort you. This inner work cannot be rushed. God is not teaching you to wait for something. He is teaching you to become someone. Someone strong enough to carry influence without collapsing under its weight. You call it delay because you cannot see what God is doing behind the scenes. But God calls it training because He knows what must be built within you before the door opens. He is shaping wisdom so you will not waste what He gives you. He is cultivating discernment so you will recognize what is from Him and what is a distraction. He is strengthening your endurance so that setbacks will not become reasons to quit. The reason this waiting feels heavy is because God is developing muscles you did not know you needed. Faith muscles, discipline muscles, emotional stability muscles, the quiet strength that stops you from breaking when life gets loud. Success is never given to someone who is not prepared to sustain it, and God would rather delay the blessing than deliver it before you can carry it. When you understand that delay is training, you stop fighting the season and start learning from it. You stop questioning God's timing and start trusting His wisdom. You stop feeling behind and start realizing you are being built. And once God finishes the work inside you, nothing outside you will be able to stop what He has prepared. There comes a point in God's process where preparation must be proven, not to expose weakness, but to reveal strength. God never promotes without confirmation, and His confirmation does not come wrapped in something big. It comes disguised in the ordinary, sometimes even in the uncomfortable. Before God reveals you publicly, He tests you privately to see if the transformation He built in you has become your new nature. This test rarely looks spiritual. It looks like a conversation where you must choose humility over pride. It looks like a disappointment that tempts you to complain, but instead, you choose trust. It looks like a small responsibility that feels insignificant, yet God is watching how you treat it. People often fail this moment because they expect a dramatic sign, while God presents a simple situation that exposes the truth of your growth. The test appears when God wants to measure your patience. You waited for clarity, but then He allows confusion to see if your faith was in the process or in the comfort. He brings a delay when you thought timing was finally aligning to see if your trust is anchored in His character or in your expectations. He presents an opportunity to react emotionally to see if you learn to respond with wisdom. These tests are not traps. They are mirrors. They show you who you have become. They reveal if your heart is ready for responsibility, if your mind is steady enough for influence, if your spirit is grounded enough to handle pressure. God does not test to shame you. He tests to confirm that you have matured beyond the person who once prayed for this moment but wasn't ready to carry it. Often the test comes through people. Someone misunderstands you, and instead of defending your image, you protect your peace. Someone withdraws support, and instead of falling into insecurity, you stand with confidence. Someone challenges your patience, and instead of reacting impulsively, you remain steady. These responses show heaven that your identity has shifted from seeking validation to walking in purpose. The moment God tests readiness is subtle but sacred. It signals that the season of hidden transformation is almost complete. When you handle the test with wisdom, honor, and emotional maturity, something breaks open in the spiritual realm. God sees that you no longer need the blessing to prove your worth. You are anchored. You are grounded. You are ready. When God changes you first, the evidence is quiet but unmistakable. The clearest sign of readiness is that your identity begins to shift before your circumstances do. You stop measuring worth by applause and start measuring it by alignment with truth. You no longer panic when doors close because you've learned to read God's direction, not the world's noise. Your desires reframe. What once satisfied you no longer does, because your heart has been reshaped for a higher purpose. You notice new peace in uncertainty. Pressure no longer produces panic, it produces focus. Small responsibilities feel like sacred rehearsals, and you treat them with reverence. The people who once defined you stop defining your decisions. You carry less comparison and more conviction. Your prayers change tone. They become simpler, firmer, and less about begging and more about listening. This sign is not dramatic. It is a steady interior shift that proves you can carry what's coming. When identity precedes promotion, heaven moves without risk. You are ready because who you are now can hold what God will give next. The last test God gives a person never arrives with noise or drama. It comes quietly, almost disguised, as if heaven wants to see who truly recognizes its voice. It's the test of showing up when nothing around you seems to respond. The test of praying when your prayers echo in silence. The test of believing even when belief feels like lifting something heavy with tired hands. This is the moment where God steps back, not to abandon you, but to observe the posture of your heart when His presence isn't immediately felt. He watches how you behave in the shadows, not for punishment, but because promotion always begins where no one is clapping. In this season, you begin to realize something sacred. God is not testing your strength. He is testing your surrender. It's when He whispers, "Will you keep walking even when the road gives you no signs? Will you trust me when nothing seems fair? Will you obey me when obedience costs you something?" People think the final test looks like a battle. It doesn't. It looks like silence. It looks like waiting. It looks like faithfulness that nobody sees. And right when your heart reaches the point of deep, quiet conviction, when you no longer obey for results but because you love Him, that's when heaven says, Now you're ready. Now I can trust you with the weight of what you asked for." The door doesn't open when you feel strong. The door opens when your heart becomes steady. There are seasons when God doesn't just slow things down. He separates you. People drift. Opportunities pause. Invitations disappear. and you begin to wonder if you did something wrong. But God whispers, "No, I'm bringing you closer." Separation is one of God's most misunderstood gifts. It feels like loss, but it's actually surgery. He is removing voices that dilute your calling. He is pulling you out of rooms where your character could not breathe. He is protecting you from becoming someone you were never meant to be. It is in this separation that God begins to work on the version of you He has been waiting for. Not the version shaped by opinions, not the version built on fear or pressure, but the version that can finally hear Him without interference. This is when you notice a strange, holy loneliness, not the kind that hurts the soul, but the kind that softens it. A loneliness that pushes you to talk to God more than you talk to people. A loneliness that makes your spirit quieter, your prayers deeper, and your discernment sharper. God separates you because He is about to trust you with something that requires clarity. And clarity only grows in stillness. And when you emerge from this season, you don't come out bitter or confused. You come out transformed. You step into rooms differently. You speak differently. You discern differently. Because separation wasn't a punishment. It was preparation. God will bring people back into your life later, but when they return, they will meet a version of you they have never seen before. A version born in the secret place. A version built by God's hands, not the world's expectations. There comes a moment, quiet, unmistakable, sacred, when God finally turns the light on, not around you, but inside you. It's not a dramatic explosion of clarity. It is more like a gentle sunrise that slowly exposes everything you couldn't see before. You begin to understand why doors that looked perfect had to stay closed, why people you loved had to walk away, why timing felt delayed, uncomfortable, even unfair. God reveals that if He had allowed certain things earlier, they would have destroyed you or distracted you. You realize He wasn't withholding success from you. He was shielding you from the version of success that comes too early and crushes the unprepared. And in that moment of revelation, you feel something shift inside your chest, a deep exhale, almost like your soul saying, "Now I understand." You see that the path you thought was a detour was actually alignment. The waiting you thought was punishment was actually protection. The loneliness you feared was actually the place where God rebuilt you from the inside out. This moment doesn't come with applause. It comes with peace. A peace that sits quietly on your heart and whispers, "Nothing was wasted." You realize God was never late. He was never silent. He was never ignoring you. He was preparing you. Every delay, every disappointment, every separation, every unanswered prayer was part of a larger strategy that only now you're mature enough to recognize. And the most beautiful part? The clarity you receive in this moment becomes the foundation for the next chapter. A chapter God has been waiting to write with you, not just for you. You didn't walk through everything you faced just to end up empty. Every unanswered prayer, every night you questioned your strength, every door that closed in front of you, every season that felt like silence, none of it was wasted. God was not delaying you. He was defending you. He was shaping a version of you that would not collapse under the very blessing you were praying for. This entire journey was never about proving your worth. It was about awakening your identity. God needed you to see yourself through His eyes, not through the eyes of people who doubted you or the circumstances that discouraged you. He allowed pressure to reveal your resilience. He allowed loss to teach you detachment. He allowed waiting to develop your wisdom. And now you can finally understand that the path felt heavy because the calling on your life carries weight. What you called a setback was a setup for a future you couldn't imagine. God hid you not to diminish you, but to prepare you. He refined your motives. He purified your desires. He strengthened your character. And now heaven is preparing to do publicly what God has been doing privately inside you for years. Your pain was not a sign of abandonment. It was a sign of investment. God only trains those He trusts. You're stepping into a moment where the script of your life begins to shift. Not because the world is easier, but because you are stronger. Not because circumstances are lighter, but because your spirit is steadier. You are no longer the version of yourself that entered the valley. You carry understanding now. You carry depth. You carry clarity. And success will no longer intimidate you, because the discipline behind the success is already inside you. This is where your story turns. This is the moment the hidden preparation becomes visible purpose. And God is saying to you now, keep walking, because everything I withheld was only to make sure that when I release it, you will be ready, stable, and unstoppable.